Yesterday, we entered to Jerusalem with Jesus. And today, we are going back to Bethany. With Jesus, this beautiful event happened. Clearly, it says in the Bible, like 6 days before his crucifixion, passion. And today's first reading we heard from the book of Isaiah, the first song. It's very nice to go with the Word of God, especially this week, Holy Week. There's a beautiful Word of God. Wisdom chapter 6, verse 10 and 11, it says, if we observe holy things in a holy way, that's the way we become truly holy. It's an opportunity. And we heard today's beautiful reading, this great event, an example of great love. This we see 2 times in the Bible. First, when Jesus started his public ministry in Galilee, that we see from the Luke chapter 7, verses 36 to 50. There we see so-called a woman had a bad name in the city. She just did the same thing. But in that event, she was also crying a lot. Tears were there, the midst of Pharisees. And we know that story. And today, again we see this. At the house, we see at Bethany, Mary did this. And she poured this. It's very clearly said about that aromatic nard. It's a very expensive perfume. The cost of this perfume also, it's sort of mentioned. A person who had to work 300 days in order to buy this. Sometimes it's like that. They're everything. They're saving. It's a very important thing. It's a very expensive thing. That Mary took. And just normally, how do they do? Not just like the way we do, like, very carefully. She just broke it and poured and washed the feet of Jesus out of great love for Jesus. But immediately, there's another person, Judas. Judas immediately, he was not very happy with that. He just said like, how can you do this? It's so expensive. This money could have served for so many poor people. Here is the 2 types of, it's a moral theology here. What is important is the intention. In the moral theology, when we study, intention matters much rather than the very act. The sin or virtue not lies the very act we do, but our very intention. Mary did out of great love for Jesus. She never thought about money. She forgot about the money. And she was almost giving her life. She was giving everything for Jesus. She poured. But whereas Judas, he didn't have a good heart. It was a corrupted heart. There is a beautiful word, Mathew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, they shall see God. If we have a good, pure heart, we see everything with that lens. If we have a corrupted heart, we see always with that lens. Always critical, always judgmental, always too much emphasis on justice and law. We put everything. It's all good. But what is important is We are called to be like Jesus. And here, the moment Judas said, I'm just thinking, what was the mind of Mary might have thought, oh my goodness, did I do anything wrong? What Jesus is going to tell? But Jesus came as a rescuer here. I don't know, Jesus might have called her and said, don't worry, Mary. And Jesus stood with Mary and corrected Judas. And after 6 days, we see what Jesus did. He poured all his blood for us. That's what we are going to celebrate. Out of his great love for you and me. Every soul has a price tag on it. Someone needs to pay for it. And that's what Jesus did. So, our intentions matters much. There's a beautiful word of God again in the Bible, Wisdom 6:3. It says, God scrutinize our intentions. Perhaps as we celebrate this Mass, we can examine our intentions. I mean, it's not 100% pure all the time, but we can pray for the grace to have a good intention, good heart. For the grace, we also can be ready, like Mary, to pour everything we have for Jesus and for others. Like St. Paul said in Philippians 2:17, I am ready to pour my blood, even my life, as a libation for your soul. That's what we are called to do. We can pray for that grace.